There we go. Yeah, last night was movie night with the family. I tell you, long night, long night. All right, there we go. But we have a nice little closeout ahead of us, guys. Again, last week we were making strides, and again, every week is going to be a record week. Last week, we out recruited our numbers from last month, and as projected, a lot of guys have actually hit new records. A lot of people are extremely close right now. I know Fred is a sneeze away from Bill to 500. I know Laura Johnson, who's on a plane right now out the country, hit Bill to 500. And so again, yeah, a lot of people making things happen. We got Dr. Arlene and the family. Again, they're now starting to do their own um, meetings with solar clients without mentors because they qualify now. And there's big things are happening right now. Big things are happening right now. So, guys, I want to give yourselves a hand. And there's a lot more you guys it's got to be celebrated. But that's why we talk about the wins and things. So, this morning we want to make sure that we treat this like the Gung Show. We're gonna go straight or like was it at the Apollo rather. I'm gonna be the Sandman today. I'm gonna need y'all to keep it to 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? 30 seconds. I'm gonna come out with my cane. All right. So and drag you off the stage. So 30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds. Want to make sure we get your reflections, your wins for the week. All right. So we'll go ahead and start off with Carla. So Carla's always first. So we're gonna start with Carla.
Good morning, and thank you for the platform and for allowing me to share. So my wins this week were related to actually being with my parents in New York and navigating them using all of the training that we get through Grant Cardone, including and especially that agreement drill. When you're dealing with individuals who are in their 90s, there's a lot to navigate, both together and separately. And what I learned this week actually came from Chris Hart's training in terms of being able to communicate with people in the ways in which they can understand. And so I use those skills this week as well when working with my parents. So thank you very much for allowing me to share.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you for setting the trend as a leader, doing your thing, Carla. And I'm gonna just say, you guys, every transaction is not a financial transaction, right? And remember, personal development is not done just for business. Personal development is what you go through and what you grow through and who you become. So it functions, as a earning tool, when you're in business, but it functions as a coping tool. It functions as a mentoring tool. It functions as a life tool. So when you're dealing with people, outside of transactions, again, it helps a lot, and you find yourself being the wiser one, regardless of age. When I first started doing network marketing years ago, many moons ago, I was young back in them days, right? So my uncles and aunts, they treat me like their nephew, all right? And so I hadn't been anywhere, hadn't done anything except for the military. That was it, and a couple real estate transactions here and there, but yeah. So now it's like the whole entire opposite. It's, the respect is there, the admiration is there. And it's because I bring value to the family now. I bring value as far as education, as far as impact, as far as opportunities, as far as what wisdom and advice and things like that. And it's a beautiful thing, And so, you know, Jim Rome always said, become a millionaire, not because of the money that you earn, but because of the person who you'll become in the process. And that's the thing about me. When I see a person quit, I'm not saying they quitting on their dreams. I'm saying they quitting on their evolution. That's the thing I pray for. Like when a person doesn't join this organization, join this group, I know what type of personal development we're going to have, what type of impact we're going to have in their life over time. And so when they quit, that's again, they don't know what they're quitting on. They have no idea, what should actually happen to them. Okay. If they don't make an emotional decision and quit. If they would just get on the calls and be a part of the process, they would wake up somebody different one day and be a more valuable individual one day. Right. And so that's a blessing, to them that you were patient enough, Carla, to go through your process. And so I appreciate you starting the call off like that. Thomas,
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
good morning.
Hey, I tell you what, I thank you, man, for the platform, for you, Miss B, what you guys, all that you do for us as a team. My wins for this week were it started out with the last two Sundays. My wife and I have gone door knocking, and the first Sunday we met some good people, but we need to knock more doors because I think we spent 2 hours out there door knocking. But this past Sunday was really a successful Sunday. We door knocked for about another 2 hours, and we got about four people that was interested in the Rain H2O. And it's amazing because as I door knocked, I told people that we did essential home services, and I mentioned solar and the water, and they seemed to have jumped on the water before they jumped on the solar. So that's the direction we went in. So Miss Bean and I sat down with one of the prospects on the other night on Thursday night or Friday night, and that's looking really really good. Her and her husband's gonna get started hopefully soon, and got three other prospects out of that. All was rainwater, all was raining down the water. So
Well,
so that was great. That was great for us just to be outdoor knocking, talking to people.
mhm.
We talking to people. In the last win that I had for the week is I've been watching Angel train for a long time and going to these networking events and training on networking events. So I finally went to my first networking event on Thursday morning at 7:30 in the morning, and man, it was good. It was good. I was the only solar guy there, but again, I talked about the essential home services, solar. I talked about what we had to offer. Everybody in the room wanted my flyer, so I gave them a flyer, exchanged names and numbers, and I'm going to become a part of that networking group, I believe, because it's close to me. So and got a lot of great people in there. They give referrals to each other, and they
Mhm.
really network together. So
That's
those are
good.
my wins for the week, Mr. Bean. Thank you for having me, and
No
you guys
problem.
have a great day. I'll still
Well,
be here.
I can tell you one, real quick here. Two stories. Like I said, you had two solid stories, and back to back, guys. You want to have see people go through experiences, go through evolutions. You know, did you ever knock doors before this, Thomas?
Not really. I did go out one time and only knocked two doors.
No,
So
I was
only
about
knocked.
before this company. Before this company.
Never, never,
Oh,
never,
see,
never.
see, this is that's what I'm talking about. This is personal development, guys. This is evolution. This is a human being that knocked on doors for the first time in life based on the fact that he's in business and he's evolving through the process, right? And so he's done something again most people never do because they're fearful of it, knocking on doors. And so he had his accountability buddy, his accountability partner. They went knocked on doors. They made it happen. And one, it's easy for them to sell than most people because it's not because you don't say because they're together, they're a couple. No, because they already have solar. They already have water, right? They already have the systems. Their products are the products. That's why it's easy for them to go out and tell people about the joy that comes with owning your own energy and the joy with comes with adding water to your body that's going to make your body pH balance so it'll help prevent disease, right? And so, man, I appreciate you. Thank you very much, Thomas, for those two, those two examples. And and then Angel being plugged into the network, like you say, he learned a lot from Angel and the others going to events. Again, you have to be in proximity, to catch it. You have to be in proximity to pick up the nuggets and to be infected. Right? Sarah's knocking on doors, and they got everybody else knocking on doors. Angels and she's recruited a whole army through events. And you're gonna sit there for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years and hear that and not be impacted, right? No, it's the other way around. It makes you move. Being in an environment with winners, it makes you move. So Two, again, prime examples, solid examples this morning of what plugging into the system actually does for you. So appreciate it, Thomas. Dr. Arlene.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for the platform. My
Mhm.
wins this week was actually seeing solar start to work as a well-oiled machine with the lead generations, the time blocking for calls, actually having my young adults create their own schedule, drag me out to the gym at 6:30 in the morning because I'm now part of their schedule. So I'm excited about that. That was the win for this week. The second win for this week is we're now getting our video together
Mhm.
for the recruiting side. So now that we have the lead generation going for solar, we're getting lead generation going next
Mhm.
for recruiting. So I'm excited about that. My
Yeah.
lesson learned this week is if you don't fix something, if you find something that you need to fix, you get a life. But if you don't fix it, and I wrote it down, right? You live a nightmare.
That's a good word. That's a good word.
Yeah. And for me, finding things that I need to fix it doesn't happen in a vacuum. I need you and Mrs. Bean for that
Yeah,
because
we had
your
a lot of
brain, your
conversations today.
experience tells me, hey, this is what has worked. This is
Hmm.
what you're doing that's not working.
Hmm.
Fix it. And then it's up to me to fix it and live the life, or it's up to me to not fix it and live the nightmare. That's all I have, sir.
Well, again, we've had more conversations, a lot more conversations lately, and for good reason. You know, when you have the type of activity, guys, that they have, you know, something new always comes up. Somebody new, some type of new personality, some type of new challenge, some types of new opportunity. Something new arises, which means that it gives you a new opportunity to be coached or mentored, right? It gives you the call, say, hey, Dr. Arlene, we never had this conversation before. What would you do if? Hey, Sabrina, we never had this conversation before, and I just had this for the first time. What would you do if? Right? And so it gives you an opportunity to expand, right? It gives you an opportunity to grow, right? It puts you in a position where if you're going out there just talking to people, you know, the win is going through that process, you know, of going through the process of people because there's something going to come out of it, whether it's a transaction or a lesson. Okay. That's the thing. That's the process of increasing your financial thermostat, right? We talked about this because they've been through a process to where they referred so much business, you know, to the company. They've seen a lot of good presentations and a lot of bad ones. Yeah, they've seen some ones that were left in question. And so all those things, all those experiences, right? Um, left them wanting, but left them saying, if I was ever a mentor, that would never happen. If I was ever a mentor, I make sure that I address that specific issue or that challenge. Okay, and so lessons learned. The other thing is not only do they do so many deals and bring so many deals to the table, but again, they already have the required amount of deals to go. And by the way, guys, you just need three three deals that are under contract and gone past site survey. So they don't have to actually be um, installed. Okay, so if you got three deals under contract, past site survey, you can now start doing your own deals. Okay, so now we have clarity. I got clarity from the Presidente himself last night, JC Rangel. So now they've got that. Now they have deals they already have seven other deals with, mentors. And they got three deals in the pocket. They're like, hey, hold on. We're not gonna put all of them in right now. We gotta say some of these five. So they got three in the pocket that are already ready to be submitted, right? They're ready to be done. And so, but they also have a system. Telling y'all, it's a system within the system. They learned the system from Landon, right? And so when they learned the system from Landon, unlike some people who just took bits and pieces of the system and did what they wanted to do and what was comfortable, and then said it didn't work, they did everything and something because even with the system that they learned from Landon, they've added value to it by testing it out. They had it in that little glass room in the sandbox, and they fought with it. They kicked it around. They saw what worked. They saw what didn't. They saw what evolved. They saw how the ways they evolved the conversation with people. When it comes to all those leads that were coming in, all those leads are or attempts. It's like they're like, okay, take one, take two. All right. Basically, you keep on going through that process, and you got to learn something. You got to evolve. That's why I said the more presentations you do, you ever realize the more presentations you do, the better you get. Okay, because every time you do, with the intention of doing presentations, your brain is now saying, "Hey, receive more information, figure out how we can make this better, figure out how we can make this more efficient, figure out how we can get to the close, figure out how we can remove some objections in the presentation." The more and more you intend on getting better at presentations, the better you get, the more information you seek for. So it's the same thing with them. They mastered the system. So they literally will create a pipeline organically of leads coming from Facebook and coming through their pipeline to where they gonna rope them and Dr. Arlene gonna brand them. So again, but it's a part of the system, guys, and I'm glad y'all starting this day off like this. This is a beautiful thing, right? So I appreciate you, Dr. Arlene, and great, great testimonial. Boudreaux.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bean. Thank you so much for the platform. Some of my wins this week. Steve Drake, he recruited a person this week.
Mhm.
Congratulations to him.
All right, all right, all right.
Congratulations to Noah for coming into business. He's 19 years old. He's a little ball of fire, ready to go. Also, we have another new person, Dick Carden.
Mm.
We also did like role playing for our team this week. And I thank Miss Angel for all of that, man, because I stole a lot of her scripts. So, role playing. The other thing I did was I recruited my own in-house virtual assistant. My son Dale John
Okay.
committed to exactly what Miss Arlene was just talking about, lead generation. So he's in charge of that. I'm teaching him that system, so he's going to be rolling that for me, and all I'm going to be doing is making phone calls and pounding it out.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna just tell you, Dale has got a nice little storm chasing group going as well because Dale is working on being one of the project managers for Rain. You already got Sabrina, Tomlin, who's really taking the bull by the horn and running with this thing, get pumping information into the system when it comes to that, and making sure everybody gets fed, making sure everybody's on the calls, making sure everybody's doing their thing. And Sabrina, we appreciate you. And we do, we really do. And so, but like I said, yeah, Dale has got that attention as well. Like we got some people who, guys are seeing where they're at and recognizing this is the window. Nobody's playing anymore. Like I said, people have been in the system long enough to understand that, the world is not going to slow up so you can catch up. So, you have to now create your own reality. Like, it's amazing that Dale is over in Dale, you're in Shreveport, right?
Yes, sir. Shreveport area. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You increase the value of Shreveport. Let me show you how I know you increase the value of Shreveport. 50 Cent bought a studio out of Shreveport. He didn't do that because until you got there. So hey, look,
There you go.
hey, you increase the value of Shreveport, bro.
Following the system, Mr. Bean.
Yeah, yeah. So you and 50 Cent, y'all stimulating the economy in Shreveport, man. Y'all keep it up, man. I'm proud of y'all. So, so I'm just telling you right now, this is the beautiful thing about because Dale John, his son, has grown up through our camp. Like you have teenagers, you have young teenagers, guys who 11, 10, 11, 12 year olds, guys, get them on these calls from time to time. You'd be amazed at how many of them stick around and keep it on speakerphone where your kids can hear because at some point in time, it does something to them. And then they want to be around that environment. They want to be around that type of information. And his son grew up in this information, like in catching it indirectly in third party, and then directly at some point in time because he's come to events and he's been a part of the fold. So, as I mean, hey, I'm telling you, Dale, that's a smart idea. Doctor, they're killing it, they're running it, but also me and Dale, we've been talking, once every day or every other day, and again, guys, right now it's about the people who are connected the most. The people who are connected the most are actually getting all the traction. They're making it happen. And even if you have traction and you're disconnected, basically what you're doing is you're slowing down your team. Okay, you're putting yourself in a position where you being disconnected, you cut off the lifeline, right? To your children. Think about it for a second. If a woman is pregnant and the baby, the umbilical cord is severed from the embryo or the feed the baby and the mom while the baby's in the mom, does the baby get fed even though the food is still coming in? No, there's a disconnection, right? So the baby is now not getting fed. You have teams that are now not getting fed because you disconnected, yourself from the system, from the nurturing process, the evolution process, right? Of what we do that makes network marketing. When you look at network marketing, direct sales, and stuff like that, what makes it so great is you have people who are not saying you can be better. You have people who are helping you be better, and then at that point, it's a choice. So remember, I said you have firsthand smoke and you have secondhand smoke. Firsthand smokes, they say it's bad. They say secondhand smoke is even worse. But you both die. It don't matter who's catching the smoke. You both die because of the smoke. So if you're disconnected from the system, right, that means that you and both your teams suffer based on, starvation, right? And so I appreciate that whole entire, again, what you got going on, Dale, and Dale is looking to be Miss Louisiana, when it comes to the storm chasing. So, hey, lock it up, bro, lock it up. And y'all playing. Thomas told y'all about that water, man. That water right now is on fire right now. This Bean is doing. She had I think three events yesterday, and she had one, for Mrs. Kathy, who's about to talk. So I'm gonna let Kathy speak her piece right now. Go ahead, Kathy.
Great morning, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Bean, for allowing me to share. First, I want to just thank my senior partner, Sabrina, for just helping and coaching me along the way and helping me get to where I'm at. I launched yesterday for the first time with my Rain H2O. And well, let me just back the train up a little bit. I ordered my Alka-C tea with the red filter and received it on last Friday. So I'm all excited about that, being a product of the product. Um, and again, as I said, launched for my first time yesterday with Rain H2O. And then today I have, I guess you could say, the finale at 1 p.m. on today. So I'm excited about that. It stretched me and it caused me to get out there and do what I need to do. I invited so many people. So we know how the numbers work. And we had a decent amount that showed up on yesterday. But I've been getting messages and texts saying, I'm going to be on the Zoom today. And thanks for inviting me. So I'm looking forward to see the explosion that's going to happen on today. So
Yeah,
that was my wins for today. I mean, for this week and the
yeah.
previous week, just reaching out to people. So I found my niche, like you said, the Rain H2O is
hmm
skyrocketing.
hmm And that's the thing, guys. That's the beautiful thing about what we have. You have some people who, if you would just plug them into the system, right? So you got Angel who is a systemer, right? And then you have Sabrina and Eddie who now just came on and as a part of the family, brought a lot of people on, right? But and they plugged into the system, right? And then you have some people who fall off and you have some people who stayed, right? Then you have people who they brought on, the Kathy Jewels of the world who again didn't have an identity in the company, okay? And when you are in the company that offers so much, you can get confused and confusion leads to frustration,
Yeah.
right? And so, just telling you, when you're around and let me try a couple of things. Let me look at a couple of things. Let me talk to people about a couple of things. Let me introduce this thing and kick this thing around here, and all of a sudden, and it could be at an event or something, or it could be somebody's testimony. You figure it out. The light bulb goes off, and all of a sudden, you got ideas. So
One last thing, Mr. Bean.
go ahead.
The most important thing that I didn't say is I wanted to thank the queen of
Mm,
this platform, Mrs. Kim Bean. She did an amazing job.
mhm.
The information was clear, crystal clear. People were asking questions, and I'm just grateful for to have an example like Mrs. Bean and yourself to lead us during this opportunity with Build.
I appreciate you, and she's passionate about that, and she really, and you can start seeing her, her love for helping people, and with all her videos and stuff she's doing, and reels and things she's posting, she gets excited every time she gets somebody a system. She gets excited. I'm telling y'all, hey, if you got another mentor, you know, uh, doing a water deal is because she wasn't available. That I'm just telling you, if you want a high close rate, you want somebody to be thoroughly educated, and you want somebody to fall in love with who we are, why we doing it. I'm just telling you, you want to find out how to recruit somebody after you sell them something. When it comes to water, get them on because I'm like, look, she just sold me on this, man. She also sold me on the environment and support. Hey, can I make some money from this? I'm just telling you, that's how it works, right? And so, again, but that's the thing. Finding yourself, finding your identity, guys, is very, very important. And you can't do that if you're absent of the system. You can't do that if you're not plugging in, right? Some people are going to want to go about their day to day, their 9 to 5, play with the kids, and chase the wife around the house, or cook for the whatever it is like, but you don't want to make time, to find out what your identity is. Yeah, you want to take that time to sit down and really get connected with your opportunity and say, what part of this is me that fits me the most, fits me the best, fits me like a glove. What do we have here that I can just focus on right now and be joyful about it? Something I can wrap my mind around and then duplicate. Something I can get some fast results on and show people, right? And that's when people start to walk into it, people start to come into it. And especially even with the territory thing, I go back to Louisiana, Dale being Louisiana, we don't sell, residential solar in Louisiana. And so, and especially like that's a big thing since we started off as a solar company, right? And so, but Dale, he got enrolled into the system. He got enrolled into the understanding. He didn't get rolled into solar, right? You got some people right now who are missing it that enrolled in solar. You got some consultants right now who have enough money, and when I say money, they have enough money and capital in the bank in their back offices, which is the bank, right? To actually be at $1,000 and $2,000 a month and residuals. But because they start off as a solar person and as a consultant, right, their team is also consultants and affiliates. So there's a disconnect, right, from their understanding. And so that's money that they're losing based on inaccurate information. The inaccurate information is coming from within, right? The external information is the accurate information. Is the system. If you're plugging into the system, you're plugged into the matrix. If you're plugged into the matrix, you kind of see what everything looks like, you know, and then you unplug from the matrix, guys. You don't like now. You out here walking as a wandering generality again. So stay plugged into the system, guys. And I'm gonna tell you, you do more good than harm. Right? You'll be amazed at what you can become when you realize, the day you wake up and realize why you actually here. Now, this is the thing. So, Kathy, I appreciate you and continue this. I'm gonna keep on drinking that alkaline water. We're gonna keep you off crutches. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make sure that alkaline water build them bones up. You're gonna have a strong bone structure. Hey, but I'm glad you figured it out. I'm glad you found it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I found mine. It took me probably about 3 weeks, to really figure it out that I wasn't here for solar, right? I was here for subscriptions. Remember, so it happened to me and for me too, right? So when I saw what's going on, I was like, this is not long term. This is not fast money. This is not from a standpoint of for me. I can make some money in solar real quick here by learning how to sell it. But they had the subscription. I'm like, okay, that's me right there. That's got me written all over it, right? And if you know me, you know that's exactly how that conversation went with myself, me and me. So appreciate you. J and J, and then we'll okay. So J and J. Well, I'm gonna say J and J, then Phillips, and then Angel. I'm gonna make because I want you to go last. Jim.
J and J, Jim Meadows. Hey, we got both J and J's on here. Jim and
Hey
Jackie this
Jackie,
morning.
what's going on, Jackie? All right, go ahead.
Hey, you remind me, Sam, of my mom during my adolescence.
Mm.
That she would basically say, "I don't care what you're doing on Saturday night, but I know where you need to be on Sunday mornings." And so I
That
appreciate
part.
you.
That part.
Appreciate being here, man. Every Saturday morning, don't matter how late Friday night goes. I
Mm-hmm.
know where I need to be. Stumbled upon a third solar sale here yesterday.
All right.
And shout out to my mentor, my main mentor, Mr. Alaka. I was having so many technical problems on getting on the follow-up call. And maybe I found the secret, just disappear and then let Idris close the deal. But
Mm.
I think he's trying to let me go here, and I'm not feeling real comfortable about that. But I guess the third sale is a big deal. I was just scrolling through my phone and connected with a guy who I used to do some training with. So a Nigerian connect right there. That definitely was a win. And just increasing my posture around finding builders versus just doing a lot of solar sales. So just feeling good, man. Love the team, love plugging into the system and plugging other people into it. So good week.
And it's a great week, actually, man. I tell you. And again, guys, and the system is not necessarily just one company. Sometimes you got to be plugged into a system, for multiple companies. Okay. And so when you look at, Jim, Jim and Jack have been around for a while, and I'm not talking about, age-wise. I'm talking about business-wise, right? I'm talking about they've
Yeah,
been
don't be
with
talking
a
about
couple.
that age.
Look at that. We back in the coffee day, like I said, we like when you talk about the system, they're not foreign to it, right? And so the cool part about it is this is familiar language, this is familiar territory, right? That they're in. And again, when you look at the conversation that we've had, since the day you bought that steak, when me, you, and Brenda went out to now. There's been a it's been you going through your process and literally growing through that process because the evolution is evident, and then just the thought process and how you were gun shy about certain things and certain ways to build and stuff like that. And like, yeah, I think I want to focus on this, and you were not pushed one way. It's just that you continue to plug in, do your thing, and figure it out. And so you're still on the sales side, which is great. But again, now you are now inviting, building at the same time, and that's the thing I get excited about because it's not about right. You can go make some money right now anywhere. You really can, and anybody can. This is not the only place you can make $5,000 a transaction, $10,000 a transaction, $4,000 a transaction, right? This is not the only place, right? There's a lot of them out there. There are millions of companies out there around the world that you can do that in. But the residual income, the subscription-based business model, right? That's the thing that entrepreneurs have to be made aware of. Don't get caught up and get distracted, right? By the bright lights and the now if you are not a big recruiting person, right? You feel like you don't have the ability to do great presentations and stuff like that. Use the um the service that you're selling as your presentation. Okay. So don't worry about presenting the opportunity. Don't worry about presenting the collaborate. Don't worry about presenting, Bill. Okay. Go out there and do as many presentations as you can. Go out there and knock on as many doors as you can, like Thomas. Make as many phone calls as you can, like Jim. Go out there and shake as many hands like as Angel. Go out there and get as many social media people to reach out to you, like the Georges. Like just you those are presentations. And when you expose the masses from a sales perspective, right, and say, okay, I'm gonna go out here and just focus on water, like Kathy, and she's exposed 100 people, right, to water. This is something I want to share with you. When she recruits people from water based on how her presentation went, indirectly recruiting them, those people will come in with no inhibitions. Those people come in with no baggage. Those people come in knowing exactly what they want to focus on and how they want to go out here and build it, right? And guess what? They're going to be her most loyal people. They're going to be, because they're going to be walking, living, breathing billboards of what she's selling based on what she was sold. Okay. See, when I sold coffee, right? My coffee drinkers became my biggest advocates, when it came to, residual income and extending my territory because they went out and they told other people and I paid them to tell other people. Those referral fees, they work, right? And so how do you not, one, you're not going to stop drinking my coffee. So if you're around coffee drinkers, at some point in time, you're going to want to share the coffee, and then you're going to want to sell the coffee, and then you want to recruit people to help you sell the coffee, and that's how we built an empire, right? It's the same thing here. If you are not a big recruiter and you feel like you shot all your shots and you feel like social media is not the way, and but you are still willing to go out there and tell everybody about solar, or everybody about water, or everybody about just the whole entire umbrella of what we have our hands on, when you knocking on doors like Freddie and Gage, I'm just at some point in time, it's gotta happen for you. People are going to not just buy something from you, they're going to buy into you, which means that they're going to join. They're gonna want to do business with you. So, James, Jackie, appreciate y'all doing y'all thing, and appreciate keep on doing y'all thing, man. I'm excited for y'all. All right, Philip.
Yes, sir. Thank you for Mr. Bean for this platform again. And yeah, I actually I was just sitting back and listening to everybody's wins, and said I had to get on and show my gratitude with the travel. I'm basically grateful now with that opportunity. And as you were saying just now, that when we start off something, of course, this year, said it before January, I got my solar deals going, and not quick money, it's slow money, but that's great. I'm grateful for those wins, and I realized that there's other things in the company in build, and now I'm seeing the international. Now my fiance's in Paris, and I had, I appreciate you coming to the Zoom that we had last Saturday. I did a lot to me right there. I mean, they were all on there. We were on the phone for almost uh, 2 hours, and I know you came from the funeral, but I appreciate your time, and they were really grateful. And I'm meeting up with them today, if everything goes the way planned, at 1 o'clock, and basically my fiance is going to be on there as well. I had, and they're just excited about it. Say, we need to talk to you. We need to talk to you. But he works a lot of hours, her husband. So, Sister Naomi's husband. So basically, had a conversation with my fiance yesterday when she got off work. Had a Zoom and showed her the new website. I gave her a website. She was excited, and I was like, yeah, since we have the wedding coming up, I was like, and we're gonna have it in Paris. I was like, we could probably start inviting people to the international. I was like, this is an opportunity to bless them with this website, and they can become builders. I mean, they had to be builders, and she was actually thrilled about that idea. I was like, because Paris is expensive, and those hotel discounts, I've been looking at them, and she agreed. So I'm just excited about the international. I've already put it on social media. Thanks to Landon Taylor again, as said earlier, and social media is that's my strength. And when Ripple comes, I already got 16 clients for Ripple. I'm just waiting for it. As soon as it comes, I'm going to give them all a call back. So I'm just excited about what's happening. I appreciate your time.
No problem. And I'm gonna just say right now, hey guys, you see, that's a lot of energy. There's a lot of excitement, right? And excitement comes from accomplishment, right? And when I look at, again, Philip, another person on the island in Jacksonville, Florida, right? He had a partner, not necessarily a connected partner through Leslie Johnson. She's in Carolina now. But it was two of them. That's just one, right? So he's on the island, in a market by himself, but he plugs in every Saturday. He's been this way since he's got here. Ever since Earl Beckett turned him loose and put him in the system, and he plugged in. He's been plugging in, he's been calling people, going to events, all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, now he got a gentleman that he recruited, Tony, and Tony he's a firecracker. He's a solar guy. He's out here knocking doors and talking to people about the claims, the roofing claims, and he's going to be another regional person, project manager in that region. He's going to the actual solar event, right, that they're going to have with Freedom Forever. So this is how serious he is. But Philip recruited him based on the law of attraction, based on energy, right? And now his wife, is to be his fiance, is about to become his business partner. It's about to become a family business, right? And that's the thing when we were having that conversation, I'm seeing what's happening, and I'm excited about this, and that's why I had no problem, on the way to the funeral and on the way out of the funeral, jumping on that Zoom. Because one, it's important to me that y'all win. Two, it's even more important that they see, you have that support, right? Regardless of what the situation is. Will I be able to do that every time? Maybe not, but that time, we made it available. That time we made it happen. And so, when it comes to Paris, yeah, we're gonna light Paris up with travel. Trust on that one. Like I said, keep on going, man. I'm proud of you, excited for you. Philip, keep on doing your thing, man. Keep on doing your thing. And tell everybody I said, welcome to the family, my people in Carolina. Let them know I'm ready to help them make some money. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Bean.
All right. All right. Then we got Earl jumped in there since I called his name, Angel. I'm gonna go ahead and let Earl go first, and then I'll bring you up. Dr. Beckett.
Good morning. I'll do. I'll be nice. I won't do the. I won't yell.
Go ahead.
Man, I'm so thankful for the platform. No question about it. And yeah, man, just yeah, I'm just gonna say it. A true leader. Uh, you get a leader on that could shame people and throw people under the bus in a bad way. He edifies and he builds people up, and he has the open door policy, because he not only has made a decision to win, but he's going to provide everything for his team and his people to win, and not just short term, but long term. So, man, I'm thankful for the platform. I'll be real quick about it. Again, had to find my niche, and it wasn't in solar, uh, but it's in subs, and then creating situations like smart money, getting ready for that, and I'm doing that behind the scenes, uh, putting things together with that. I'm in Memphis now, so if my eyes are a little red, Mr. Bean, you understand what that
I
looks
already
like.
know
So,
you be on that road, right, burn that soil.
so we're about to have a little lunch and learn at 11 o'clock, 11 to 1. We do this every week, but I'm here, and but excited about the future. Uh, and when I say excited, from another level, I've learned so much just from conversations with Mr. Bean and what the company is doing. Well, if the company is doing, it'll work for me as an individual or an entrepreneur in any other business, right? So we have downsized our company from the vantage point of not bringing on any company drivers when it comes to our black car service, and everything is now becoming affiliates. So I'm pumped up about the word affiliates and subscription,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what that means, that travel nationwide, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm pumped up and excited about what's happening. And thank you, Mr. Bean, for allowing me to share.
No problem, man. I appreciate you, and thanks for the, again, just the recognition, and that again, it says a lot, and so I appreciate you, and that's the thing. Again, Earl and I have had countless numbers of conversations, through the years on how we were going to do business together, and I know it was years before we even did our first opportunity together. And so, but we got a chance to know each other and connect with each other, along the way. And so in this situation, obviously y'all saw a lot of Philip, but you didn't see a lot of Earl. Earl was launching his black car service, right? Reform, and they're doing great things, right? But he was basically giving the attention that his new company needed while the system was working for him on the back end. So, because you have people who feel like they have to, you have the people who use this quote and say, "Well, if I'm going to do something, I want to put 100% of myself in, or I want to put 100." No, that's broke people talk. That's an excuse. That's a deflection. That's a distraction. You're trying to distract somebody, and yeah, that's not how it works. And so now, when you look at him evaluating his company and evaluating how to expand it, they turned their system into a turnkey system that attracts people, and the affiliates on his side is a good word. By the way, it's a really, really good word for him. All right, not so much, but but again, the subscription, he created an affiliate service for other drivers with his company, to where now they're gonna they're gonna grab the business, right, and they're gonna become Uber, they're gonna become Lyft, and they're just going to refer the business out, take a percentage, and it's working. And also, the other thing he's doing is he's literally finding those affiliates and building his subscription base on his side. But he has affiliates that are coming on now as builders. See, they're affiliates. Watch this. This is business. They're affiliates for his company, for builders for ours. Don't miss it, and don't get it twisted. So that's I told you he's a businessman, right? And so they're affiliates for his company, right? Which is, and remember, his affiliates pay, right? So his affiliate system pays, and then there are builders over here. So like he had a young lady who I got a chance to meet, very pleasant young lady, and she's already in claims in automobiles. It's amazing how the law of attraction works. And then he had just told me that morning. Let me share what let me share with you why you gotta some of y'all have to change your dialogue. Okay, because that morning he called me fired up just about life in general. Man, he said, "No, I'm not gonna scream," because that's what he do every time he called me. He screamed like you know what I'm saying. So he didn't want to be rude, y'all, because y'all he want to freak y'all out. But and I see that name pop up on my call ID, and I was like, "Here come the energy, boy. Here it is." And so he said, "Man, somebody gonna do today. I'm gonna find somebody who's going to do roofing claims, and boom, by the end of the day, he had a builder, from his affiliate service. They came on board, basically had a three-way with me, and we had a really good conversation. And now as a builder with the company and working on what he said she was going to be working on. And so affirmations, declarations, what are you pronouncing, and what are you announcing into, the universe? What is the universe, going to return? Negativity, positivity, okay? Positive or wealth or sickness or illness or poverty. What are you declaring? Right. And so watch your energy and watch your mouth. Yeah, I'm just saying, watch your energy and watch your mouth. Thought process, control all of this stuff this again, whether you understand it or not, as a man thinketh. Right. So again, this thing has been written over and over and over again by lifers. Okay. And so again, don't try to buck the system. Just understand that you will get what you actually ask for and what you intend on having, what you declare and what you work toward while you're declaring it. So, EB, I appreciate you, big guy. Angel, go ahead and take us home on that on the reflection.
Hi, thanks for allowing me to share, Mr. Bean, and thank you so much for this platform and all the tools and the systems you placed for us. So for my wins this week, I love the international, and seeking counsel with you and Mrs. Bean is always key to really, as I climb different levels, to learn what I need to do and reflect to get into the next level, right? It's always that same step. And so getting advice from you to being laser focused, it was what I've been doing this whole entire week. Being laser focused has helped me be able to, number one, invite two new international builders into the company. Emmanuel, he's already here on the line. We're about to, after this, hop off and do his game planning session for the Philippines. So if you
Okay.
could welcome the Philippines
All
into
right,
our
all right, all
group.
right.
And then our other country is South Africa. Miss Sharon Hartnick from South
Uh-huh.
Africa. She
Uh-huh.
could not be on the line today because she's actually at a women's conference. And I said, yes, you can invite for your launch call. And she said, that's the plan. So we're super excited about the international. And I'm working on Nigeria next. I actually have 2 to 3 people coming on board for Nigeria.
Man, I tell you, that's great stuff. And when you look at, and this is the other thing, guys, I really appreciate what, like I said, Angel, just starting off with the coaching and the mentoring, right? Saying, you know what, I need to get a little bit closer, and more defined when it comes to leadership coaching and everything else that we have going on. I gotta take my game to the next level. And like we had this conversation, like, look, people who got you to build a 2000 is not going to be the ones to get you to build a 4000, right? And the person who got you to build a 2000 internally is not going to get you to build a 4000. Okay. You have to continue to, increase your rank, thermostat basically by creating it's the same thing as far as creating your financial thermostat, creating your mentality thermostat, right? You have to continue to grow into your next rank, right? Don't think just because you're going to be here next year, you're going to be, oh, I'm going to be building 8,000 in 12 months. And that's some people's strategy, just to be here 12 months from now. And they feel like because they're going to be here, they're going to be at a different rank. And no, it's not going to make you 12 months better. It's going to make you 12 months older, right? And so, when you're growing through this process, guys, like I said, you hit build a 500, like I told Laura, now it's levels to it. Now, we can put something together and create a run where you can hit build a 1,000 this month coming up. Why wait another month or 2 months or 3 months, right? So when it comes to, growing, your group will grow as you grow. Hey, you can put a lid on your group unintentionally. Okay. You can also, for some of you guys, you can put a lid on your group and cap your group, by micromanaging. Okay. And I'm just telling you, some people I say are not used to having anything. How you have ever heard that quote? People say that, man, some people just not used to having things. When they get something valuable, they hoard it and they cover it up and they overprotect it and they don't want to lose it. And when you turn around, you cover something up, you're not looking up, and so you don't know what's walking around you. You don't know what opportunities, to do business with other people are, because you're so busy protecting, the team that you have. And so that's the thing I love about Angel. Angel is always, exploding, when it comes to bringing on new people. She's always doing that. And so now her commitment to continue to become a better leader for a team, she's focused. I know Ms. Me and Ms. Bean we were having a conversation yesterday or something. I said, yeah. She said, and I said, yeah, that's because Angel's on point right now. She's on purpose right now. She's running right now. She's laser focused right now. And so, but that's the thing. You want to have your leaders, talking about you like that. Like, man, well, Sabrina's laser focused. She's running right now. Jack is on point right now. Prince is on, man, he's on fire right now. And have your people come back and talk to you. Hey, Barry, like they say, Brenda's telling me Barry's on fire right now, or Jim's on fire right now. Right? That's the ultimate compliment, guys, to have your people talking about you. That's your job, right? And I remember my first mentor, the one that truly mentored me, he said, your only job is to get your upline, your senior partners to talk about you. If nobody that you're working with is excited about talking to you and working with you, then I'm definitely not going to be excited about working with you. If you don't have people coming and running to me, telling me how many people you recruited, how many presentations you did, how many units you sold, how much, what that you had every event, they excited for you, there's nothing for me and you to talk about. If you can't, if you can't impress the people who are on your first line, your front line, your actual leaders, the person who sponsored you or the person who's their sponsor, what do you think? Why would you think that your time is valuable enough to be on my schedule? Right. And so it made sense. Right. And at that time, I'll tell you, I didn't even like the people who sponsored me. I was running from them. Like I literally did not join him. It was $1,400 to get in this company called Cyberwise, and the dude went to church with me, and I didn't really like him, didn't really trust him. But at some point in time, he just wouldn't go away, so I paid him $1,400 to go away. Basically, I signed up in the company like, hey, um, yeah, okay, now he gonna stop calling me because that's what they do. That's what network marketers do. They stop calling you after they sign up. They I got a pack and I'm gone. Well, I didn't know who I was dealing with because this dude's leader had him on purpose. This dude's leader had him on, when I say lockdown, knew how to follow up, knew how to follow through, knew how to continue to pester me to the point to where I got on somebody's training. You know, that happened. And then when I saw that, when I went to the training, he said, "Look, you got in the business. You already paid $1,400, and you got a person who's made millions of dollars over here. I would suggest you at least go to one of the training events and see what you spent $1,400 on, or at least get $1,400 worth of value out of this training, because you're in real estate and he doesn't train on products. He trains on business. And if you go and watch him train on business, you'll see how this could actually impact you in real estate. And that was the smartest thing this man ever told me in his life. I'm gonna tell you, because that was the thing that made me plug into the system, right? It made me plug into the system. And sure enough, I became a business person and not a real estate agent. At that point in time, it was that one conversation, because when I went to that training and I asked the guy, I said, hey man, who shall remain nameless, how do I, because I was impressed with him. I wasn't impressed with the guy like I said, I didn't trust the guy. The other guy had, trust issues, and he just appeared to be slick to me. And when I actually went to that event, I was impressed, thoroughly impressed. I never heard anybody talk like this dude before, and everything he said made sense. And I said, you know what? Never had access to this type of information before, right? And let me continue to hang around here a little bit. Let me continue to soak up this information. And I'm paying at that time almost $500 a month in auto ship because they basically, well, at that time $170 a month, $75 a month in auto ships on products I even take, right? But I was just paying because I wanted to stay active and stay plugged into the system and have access to the information. I didn't want to lose access to the information. So I ended up asking him a question, that one question, because remember, you end up in life, quality of life in direct proportion to the quality of the questions that you ask yourself and that you ask other people. Okay. And so I asked him, I said, hey, how do I get more of your time? Because I'm seeing what I'm seeing. And I'm like, this guy he can help me get my life, to the next level. And that's when he told me, make sure your people are talking about you. Make sure your sponsors coming back telling me that you're on the calls, you're on the trainings, you're at the events. Make sure your sponsors telling me that you're doing recruiting. Make sure your sponsors telling me if you want my phone number, that is. He said, you don't need my phone number to sell products. You don't need my phone number to be in the company. He said, but if you want to build something special and become a business person, he said, make sure that they're talking about you. Make sure that you're ranking up and, and I'll give you my phone number. We can have a conversation. And at that point in time, I'm like, all right, I'm building this business for the access, not for the products and services. Okay. And for me, I'm looking at the products and services and I'm like, okay, we can sell it, but this is not something that people I associate with are going to buy. Okay. This is not something people I associate with are even going to do. Right. And so I made a decision that, hey, I'm going to have access to him. Therefore, he's worth $200 a month for sure. Because if he charged me by the hour, it'd be somewhere around, $5,000 to $10,000 an hour based on what he was worth. So I'd rather pay, $200 a month than $5,000 to $10,000 an hour for the information. And I hope you guys are getting this. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down here. This is a decision I made that changed my life business wise. So when we talk about plugging into the system, and you guys are here every Saturday, like James said, and not missing a Saturday, guys, you're getting information and insight and coaching opportunities that you're not paying anything but $99 a month for. You're not paying me what I'm worth an hour, right? This is a smart way of doing business, and this is something that you should explain to your people. Right. And continue to have that process, that drip. How many of you believe, like, just put a one in the chat right now. If you believe that if you had more people on the call today, your group would probably be in a better place tomorrow. So this is impactful information based on the stories, okay, from you guys and the back end coaching, or the back end stories or the back end lessons, from what you guys are already doing. Right. And so that, like Chris said, people pay $5,000 a month. And so, guys, I'm just don't undervalue what you have your hands on and who you have access to. A lot of times you're promoting the wrong things. People won't join you because they think they're joining solar. People won't join you because they think they're joining water. People won't join you, but because remember, you're passionate about something. Okay. But they're passionate about winning in life, right? And what you're passionate about to sell, it may not be on their radar. But if you understand how to sell coaching, how to sell mentorship, how to sell systems, how to sell support, how to sell your integrity, right? If you really and truly master those things, that's remember I told you the guy I didn't believe in. He got me to the event because he made me believe in my goals, my own. He took the goal, he took it off of him and what he liked in that company, and he put it on his mentor and a solution to one of my challenges. The solution to the challenge that he solved for me is that this man tied me to a mentor that I would never have had access to had it not be for him. Remember, we use our company, right, to create solutions for the masses. Okay. find a way our company could help somebody win in life, right? And so this is crucial. So this is real good stuff. This is when I say, like with Angel again, just going back to, just her building out, like we having conversations, about how she's auditing, her accounts and stuff like that. Like when you have so many people coming into your business that, you have a direct line with the COO to make sure that you get reports ran, on your back office and stuff like that. You have enough people where you need a report to see who all ran, and he's showing her how to figure it out in the back office. But when you got that many people, you got them type problems, that means you have an actual organization. Okay. And so keep on creating those type problems and keep on leading by example, and stay on fire, because Builder 4000 is coming. So that's the first part. And so you guys did great. You guys did fantastic. See, we got done at 9 o'clock on the first part, the reflections, and we'll get done a little bit sooner. But the reason why we didn't get done sooner, because you guys had such great testimonials. You guys had such great wins, and it's things that I had to expound on. And so we've already did 30 minutes of reflection and 30 minutes of training and personal development, right? And recognition. And so when you look at this part of the training here, and this is something we're going to do once a month, um, I want to make sure, because we have so many people coming in that are brand new, right? And we want to make sure that people get this. And again, the system is, the most, secure place, and it's the safest place in this company. Okay. Yeah. And so that's important, because you're looking at something that's going to help people from the employee realm. Okay. Transition into entrepreneurship. And we need it here in America. We need it more than anything. Right. But when you look at the system, and I say here in America, because there's so many people losing their jobs right now, it's ridiculous, right? And so, but outside the country, you need it outside the country too. Remember, we're going international, right? And if we're going international, that means that you have to be able to duplicate yourself in another country without being there. The system allows you to be omnipresent, right? It allows you to be everywhere at the same exact time, like who you believe in spiritually, who you have your connection in spiritually. The system allows you to go out there and have a business in, like Angel said, the Philippines. And welcome to the family, Emmanuel. Looking forward to actually having a conversation with you at some point. And then Sharon, who not only is, she's brand new, from, Johannesburg, South Africa, but she's already, and I talked to her yesterday, she has 16 confirmations for, her event that I'm doing for her on Monday. Okay. And so doing a launch call for her on Monday, 12 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock her time. But the system, right, that Angel is teaching them is traveling, right? Like in the NFL, we say defense wins championships and defense travels, right? If you got a defense that travels, you can win anywhere, right? And so when you look at this business, this industry, if you have a system that travels, you can win anywhere. If you take me and people like me, people who learn like me, people who lead like me, people who believe in systems, and you drop any of us in a foreign land, and you have Google Translate, that's all you got. You can actually build a big business, right? Because AI will translate everything for you. Google Translate will translate everything for you. They even have voice devices where you can talk in English and it comes out in Japanese. So you don't have any more excuses. What you used to have, you don't have anymore. You have no more excuses. So the system has to be able to travel in every language. It has to be able to make sense in every language. Now, when there'll be things where when we talk about, the system, you'll probably tweak one thing international wise, because this is so home essential focus and home solutions focus here in the US with our solar and everything else. But that's here. Okay. And people outside the country can sell here. So this is still going to be here for them. Okay. But when we go into international waters with travel, Web3, Build University, all these other great things that we got coming on, that's going to be another presentation. Right. And there's going to be a little alteration, in the 6 steps to 6 figures. Okay. But nonetheless, we built a company, and a company within a company systematically in 32 countries around the world when we did coffee because of the system. Okay. I built, when we did investing, built a company within a company and multiple companies around the world systematically. Had things humming. Boom. Made $100,000 first 60 days. Okay. And that was one of the most exhilarating runs that I had, like literally out the gate, but it was systematic, right? And so 6 steps to 6 figures. This is what we want. This is going to be a little different. We're going to talk to this one a little bit. And it's not going to be one of those high powered, high fat, and like really, really fast, because I want to make sure I elaborate on this to make sure you guys get it. And so 6 steps to 6 figures. Everybody talks about, 4 steps to success or 3 steps to success or whatever. No, let's keep it specific. 6 steps to 6 figures. Okay. 6 figures is a goal. Okay. You have a lot of people who never touch 6 figures a year in their life, and they have jobs and they work 40, 50, 60 hours literally a week, some even 70, and it's inhumane, but they do it, and they do so knowing that in that job or career that they're working, they'll never make 6 figures a year. Okay. So you want to give people something to stretch for, a goal that they can be fixated to. And it's like every time they read this thing, every time you do the 6 steps to success for somebody, and for yourself, because this is not something that you should watch one time. This is something that you should go over and over and over again and master it, right? But it's like an affirmation, it's like a declaration. 6 steps to 6 figures, right? The ultimate fast start blueprint to build a 6 figure career or brokerage. Verbiage is very, very important. Okay. And I use the verbiage that I use here so you can get away from all the network marketing verbiage and lingo. Okay. I want your conversation to be one of the most one of the most professional and one of the most attractive conversations that people can actually have with another human being when it comes to business. Okay. Course content, Project 10,000 vision, your why and your goals, complete the certifications, build a list of contacts, become a product of your products, plug into the proven system, and register for the next event. So Project 10,000 is my project, right? And you're going to have yours as well. As you grow your group, it'll come to fruition. Okay? And the one thing that I use Project 10,000 for, okay, and this is to help, 10,000 families create a $5,000 per month residual income over the next 5 years. Okay. This fast start training is going to be the foundation that everyone will use to make it their reality. So we're impacting the economy in many households as we speak. So it's a goal, a mission statement, a declaration, right? And it's an affirmation. It's all those things roll into one. And the one thing that you have to do is you have to get everybody else to buy in and talk about it. You got to have everybody to buy in and adopt it, right? And the thing about a goal and a vision, right? You have to be a goal. You have to be a person who has a goal that's big enough to encompass everybody that's following you. Okay. You got to have a goal that's big enough to encompass everybody that you plan to recruit and that you plan to do business with. And so if you have $100,000 a year goal, I mean, when I had $100,000 a year goal, and when we were starting coffee, I just wanted to make $100,000 in a year. I didn't know that I would ever make the money that we made, but my goal was to make $100,000 a year, and I was thinking small. And this is how you find out how small you're thinking. When I'm talking to my mentor at that time, he's telling me, it's like, look, what's your goal? Goal is $100,000 a year. He said, well, okay, well, let me share something with you. He said, you're gonna lead a small group of people, and you're gonna attract a smaller group of people, and it's because your goals aren't big enough. Your goal is basically $8,000 a month. Okay. That's not sexy to anybody. That's not appealing to anybody. That doesn't turn anybody who has a big mentality, a 50-foot view, mentality. That doesn't do anything for them. Right. And so you're not going to attract anybody of value. You're going to repel them. He said, right now, I'm talking to somebody in your group who has $1 million per year goal. He says, that's a person that you'll never be able to lead. And I'm gonna just tell you, he said, I'm talking to him right now. I'm working with him right now because you don't think big enough. Because my goal is $1 million a month. He can see his goal being $1 million a year being accomplished in my goal of $1 million a month. Okay. He said, so your goal, this is what he made me very, very uncomfortable. This is where I had to I had to put on my big boy underwear and step up to the game. And so he said, hey, you need to have a goal that's big enough to include his and everybody that's coming behind him. Right. So if his goal is $1 million a year, yours can't be $1 million a year. It definitely can't be $100,000 a month. Okay. And so I changed mine to 5 million a year. Okay? And so that's when things started to evolve. That's when things started to change. And so, and also my goal, again, it's not a goal that everybody's interested in as a distributor. He said, when you're a company official or something, you have a goal that's big enough for the whole entire company to grow off of. That's when people now focus on your goal because they focus on the vision that creates permanence, for the company. If your goal has to be a goal that's so big that it makes everybody else uncomfortable, but most importantly, that your goal has to be so big that if you actually come close to it and then you miss it, but you come close to it, the company will be around forever. Okay. And so these are things that I learned from mentorship. So I'm telling you right now, this goal of 10,000 families creating $5,000 a month of residual income over the next 5 years, in 5 years, that means that, okay, remember, when you look at the number of people that it takes to get to build a 500, right? Let me see here. So you're looking at those numbers, and those numbers, you know, are very, very important. So $5,000 a month, you have to be at Builder 4,000. $5,000 a month, Builder 4,000. Builder 4,000 is 240 on the left, 240 on the right. Okay. Which means it's 500 people, basically. So you got 500 people to become a builder 500. That means that in order for us to get project 10,000, it means that 10,000 people have to have 500 people in their groups, which means that we have 5 million people in the company, not just in our organization. Okay. And so 5 million people, you know how many people, how many lives, how many households that affects worldwide, globally? A lot. All right. A lot. Innumerable amounts of households. Right. And so when you have a goal that big, anybody who wants to make $1 million a year, $1 million a month, right? Because remember, all it takes to make $1 million a month, in my personal opinion, is about 20, 30,000 people based on the numbers and the compensation plan. I'm not gonna go over that. But so if I have 5 million people in there, you're gonna have a lot of people, right? This if you divide 20,000, about divide 5 million by 20,000. I don't know what that number is, but you're going to have that many people and more making $1 million a month with the potential and opportunity to make $1 million a month. Okay. So have your goal, and then have the vision. Okay. Have your goal, whatever your goal is, and then create a vision for your group. And you talk about the vision of the group only, or you talk about Project 10,000 only, and you get your people to look at Project 10,000. And what happens is they will run faster toward the company's goal than they will toward their own, and they will toward theirs and toward yours. Right. But guess what? If you get them running toward the company's goal, Project 10,000, right? What ends up happening is they hit their goals and you hit yours. Now, this won't work if you have an ego, right? You want to do it your way, you want to stay it your way, you want to build it your way. This won't work for you. Okay. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. Okay? It's just the little stuff like this that you don't understand in most cases that will cost you a fortune and cost you your organization. Okay. Now, what's your why? Okay. Identify and your non-negotiable why, guys. Like you want to make sure that there are things that must happen for you. Okay. Must happen for you. And it's not even optional. And you want it to happen, and it's got to happen in this company, or it's got to happen based on who you become in this company. But set up your non-negotiables, right? And then after you set up your non-negotiables, the things that matter to you the most, you get your personal goals and your business goals in place. Okay. And so 6 short-term and 6 long-term financial and lifestyle goals for you, your family, your success team members. And it's important, one, that you actually make sure you have your own personal goals. And I like focusing on everybody else. Well, let me share some with you. At some point in time, if you never do anything for yourself, you check out emotionally. You quit. Even if you don't take your subscription off the back office, at some point in time, it's not worth it for you because everybody's getting rewarded but you. This is why it really is important, for leaders to be emotionally sophisticated. And because when it comes to leadership, there's not a lot of help for you as a leader, right? That's a lonely place. And you always and consistently have to have, meetings and trainings and three ways and lifelines for everybody on your team because you're there to support them. But there's nobody there for you in most cases. And that's why you have to have goals for your team. So that's why it's important for me to know your goals because your goals become my goals. And by helping you hit your goals, I'm going to always establish mine and hit mine. Okay. But 6 short-term, 6 long-term financial lifestyle goals for you, your family, and your success team members, right? Business goals. These are things that you want to hit out the gate, right? And again, you want these goals here to be your non-negotiables, guys. Like I said, when it comes to business wise, you got your non-negotiable goals, but when it comes to the business, there's things that you want to do and you want to set the right example for your team, right? Get your four and pay no more. Get that knocked out right away. Work on getting that knocked out in 72 hours if you can. If you get and have mom, or if you can't get it knocked out in 72 hours because things didn't line up, great. You got traction, which means that you got 7 days. Get it knocked out in the first 7 days. It don't mean get depressed and I didn't do it in 3 days, and so it'll happen whenever it happens, which is the mentality for most people, right? If it don't work in 72 hours, get it done in 7 days. Just be working every day to get it done. If it don't work in 7 days, get it done in 2 weeks. You might be a late bloomer, right? Get it done. But make sure your people are plugging in. Don't wait to help your people recruit people until you get short for it. It's not how it works, right? It's not how it should work. But 3 utility bills in 30 days. So if you focusing on solar, knock that out right away. Knock that out right away, right? Um, 3 alkaline hydration systems. Okay, Kathy, knock that out right away, right? So I know Laura's knocked that out. 3 utility bills. I know, Dr. Arlene and her and the squad have knocked that out. They got theirs when it came to utility bills and actual installations. But get these systems, these water systems. Alkaline water is so easy to sell when you ain't got to sell it. Mrs. Bean is cold-blooded when it comes to it, right? Let her do the work for you. Now we're gonna also add. Y'all write this down. 10. We're gonna shoot for 10. 10 travel club members builders, 10 travel club members, 10 travel club builders, because you can't be in a travel club without being a builder in 30 days. At least 10. At least 10. If you're going to focus on travel, and so we have some people focus on travel, knock it out. Okay. Or you can do a gumbo and have something of all of them, but, you know, builder 500 in 30 days. These are things you want to get knocked out. Talking to Freddie, like it's right there for him. Man, don't play with this thing. Don't sleep on this thing. You got the rest of this weekend to knock out Builder 500. Don't play with it. Okay? Don't play with it. Jenny from California knocked hers out in 30 days. Landon in Houston knocked his out in 30 days. All right. You want to be able to set the tone and the expectations for your team members. Remember, your team members are going to win or fail as you win or fail based on the example that you set. So if you actually create a culture of it taking you 90 days, 6 months, to go build a 500, then guess what? Your whole entire team is going to take that long, if not longer. But if you come in and say, hey, boom, I got this knocked out and in 30 days, hey, next thing you know, everybody in your team believes that they can actually get it knocked out in 30 days, right? If you get it knocked out in 2 weeks, the majority of your leaders who come in with grit and ambition, they'll knock it out in 2 weeks to 4 weeks. They'll knock it out in 2 weeks to 30 days. The faster you get to it, the faster your team will do it. Remember, Your team is going to do what they see you do, not what they hear you say. So if your person's been in for a year, right? 9 months, 6 months, a year, and you hadn't hit builder 500, draw a line in the sand today. Make sure that never happens again. If you're a builder, if you aspire to be a builder, draw a line in the sand and kill it. Make sure you finish it. Make sure you get it done this month coming up. Okay. But you have to start at some point in time brand new and say, hey, look, well, I was in the business for 6 months, but I made a decision. I was on this call one Saturday morning and, this is a forgiving industry. And so I decided at that point to actually build it. I had just been in it and kicking the tires and seeing what it was that I liked or didn't like. And I made the decision to build it. And after I made the decision to build it, I went build it 500 in 2 weeks. Went build it 500 in 5 weeks, in 3 weeks. I went building the 500 in less than 30 days after that. And again, now you're reestablishing, right? The line. You're bringing the line to where you want it to be for them. So then after that, you find your next person who gets the 10 sales, and travel, or you get the five, you get enough to build a 500 in 30 days in your group. Guys, now that becomes the story. That person and what they did. And now everybody who's coming on board, they're using that individual as a measuring stick. And now what you'll find is this: the elite people who come in, they'll start getting it done in 3 weeks, in 2 weeks, and some they'll start getting it done in 7 days, and some they'll get it done in one call. You're gonna have a person who comes into not just my group, maybe even your group at some point in time, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, and they'll do a call so big they'll get billed to 500 out of that one call. Okay, we do it. We did it all the time. We just right now, your belief level is not where it needs to be for it to happen to you. Okay, ask yourself: do I do all my presentations or no? Ask yourself: can I rely on me to deliver a knockdown, drag out, just hell of a presentation, right? Myself, right? Or do I have to? Do I have to? Or do I, want to? Or do I choose to use my leader? Because they're here, they're convenient. I feel like they're more effective. At some point in time, you got to become the leader. And when you start doing the presentations yourself, you start knocking it out yourself. What ends up happening is, you get great at it. And when that person who is a high level thinker, a person who's a visionary, a person who has influence, and they recognize that in you, right? What happens is now they pour all their resources into your Zoom, and then boom, based on their influence, they got 20 people off one call. They might have 15 people sign up that day, next day, and you still have people coming in that same week based on that call. Even though they didn't do it the same day, that one call you did that day is going to be that day that 20 plus people come in from that call because of the person's influence. And you now have a one Zoom builder 500. That's another story. Okay. So that's very, very important. And then go dream building with your family and with your team. Okay. Go out and look at what you want is not in your house. What you want is out there on a lake, boats. What you want is out there and on somebody's lot, a house, another lot, a car. Online, a vacation. Go dream building, right? And fill up your dream tank. Get your fuel ready to rock and roll because dreams are your fuel, right? That's what's going to get you to the next step, the next place. Number two, get certified ASAP. Complete your Freedom Forever and Reign H2O certifications as soon as possible. Okay. And so the certifications are in your back office. Now, the Reign H2O, that's coming. Okay. So Mrs. Bean she's working with Mr. Ovi right now, and they are doing their thing. And so they'll be coming to you in the back office soon. So watch the videos, answer the questions, notify the senior partner upon completion. Right. You always want to keep your senior partner, your sponsor, or your person who you are working with in your upline. You always want to keep them, you know, um, in the know. You don't ever want people to be surprised about what you do, because some of you feel like, well, I'm gonna surprise them and just show up as build a 500 one day. That's the wrong way. Matter of fact, that's the worst way, because what you actually do, right? It gets repeated down in your group, but it gets repeated way down in your group, right? If you do it the wrong way. Remember, what you do wrong echoes, and 80% of your group will follow what you do wrong. Okay. And so if you got your four and you didn't tell anybody, guess what? People who you got, they're gonna get their four and they're gonna tell you. They go get a sale and you don't tell anybody that you got a sale. Well, they're gonna go get a sale and they're not gonna tell you. How can you help them if you don't know what's going on in the organization? And that's the challenge. Most people think they don't even need help. They feel like they've been doing this so long that they don't need coaching, they don't need mentorship, they don't need guidance. I'm just gonna surprise Mr. Alaka, and I'm just gonna go build a 500 on my own. I'm just gonna surprise Mr. Taylor, and I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna put all of these, people in, from the social media lead system. I'm just gonna surprise them. I ain't gonna tell them. I'm gonna go, guys, when things are happening, especially when things are happening that are good, run and tell it. Right? You always have somebody. I couldn't do the edification and the recognition this morning that I did for each and every last one of you guys, that I recognize if we were not in communication. Okay. Notify your senior partner upon completion of everything. You're not checking in as an adolescent or as a child. It's like you want to check in because one, you want people to know. You want somebody who can beat your chest for you and recognize you because you can't do it for yourself. It looks like you have an ego if you do it for yourself. But if I do it for you, again, that's totally different. If your leader does it for you, it's totally different. So give us an opportunity to recognize you, right? But also give us an opportunity to coach you up on some stuff. Just because you got a builder in the back office, somebody signed up, doesn't mean you're doing the business right. It doesn't mean that you did everything or you couldn't get better the next time you put somebody in, right? Everybody who is in this company and every company out there like this one, every transaction that you do, 9 times out of 10, you'll have a mistake in it, include me. Right? There's always something you could have did different. There's always something that you could have did better. And if you're not communicating and coaching, getting coaching and mentoring on each and every deal, you're not getting better. You're actually getting worse. Okay. So you're not growing through the process. Now, build a contact list, guys. This is a crucial part of your business development. Remember, you need resources. And your resources are human beings walking, living, breathing opportunities. Okay. And so each one of them are opportunities to get better. And that's the opportunity. And I'm not talking about financial opportunities. I'm talking about the opportunities for you to get better, opportunities for you to actually grow your skill set. Because when you get through your list, you will have established a skill set that's so dominant that it'll separate you from everybody else. And so now, when you have people who come into your group, guys, you know exactly what to do with that individual. There's no question about it. Because you've done this with your whole entire list. You've done this. You went through your process with all of your capital, and you're still going through that process because you're still meeting people every day. So it's a never-ending growth process for you, but you have more value than everybody else who doesn't do that because you have more experiences. You have more repetitions. Like your muscle of launching somebody and getting somebody started is a lot bigger and stronger than somebody else's muscle who doesn't really have a muscle. It's weak because they don't know how to get people started. They don't plug into the system. They don't go through the repetitions. Okay. But build a list. Decide if you're promoting high ticket services or building your brokerage. Okay. And the faster you figure that out, the better off you'll be. If you're not a builder and you choose not to build, do not come in here trying to fool anybody. Nobody's going to shame you because you don't want to be builder 500, right? That's not your goal. If that's not your goal, again, that's not your goal. But go over your goals, figure out what you're going to do, figure out if you're going to sell water, and it's just no different than universities and colleges, guys. Sometimes you change your major, right? Women change their major once in college on average. We change our major 3 times on average because we really don't know what the heck we want to do. As it changes semester wise with us. But women, again, on average, may change it once. So don't feel bad if you choose water and all of a sudden travelers here, like, you know what, that's sexier, that's hotter. I want to do that. Because I've already announced my love to travel, right? And so, but I'm still going to do my subscription is going to be, my main thing. But travel is going to be the thing that I use as my teaser, as my carrot, because it's something I can sell with no problem. I am travel. Okay, so figure out what you want to do, what you're going to sell, or if you're going to build, and then you build your list. Okay? And you'll still build this list the same way because even though you may not be a person who wants to build a business, from a brokerage perspective, you still need people who fit the criteria, right? One day you may wake up and and just next thing you know, it's, I want to build, and that list is already going to be prepared. So you want 50 to 100 career candidates, okay? People who want to sell something. I just want to be in sales. They just want to be left alone. I'll make my solar sales over here. I'll make my water sales over there. I'll go out here and sell travel, or build universally, internationally, whatever it is. But 50 people who you think are career people, 50 to 100 candidates, people who want to actually build a brokerage, business and subscription-based business, 50 to 100 homeowners. Okay. And so we're a home solutions industry. Guys, that number 50 to 100, again, most of you guys know well over 100 people who own a home. Okay. And so those individuals, I'm going to tell you, when you make that list, don't just make the list, call your homeowners now. If you have homeowners that you haven't called, shame on you, right? If somebody sells them a bad solar deal, that's your fault, not theirs. They're not educated. They don't know that the company they're about to buy solar from is the worst company. And I say the worst company because if there's a company better than ours, again, let me know about it. But when it comes to Freedom Forever, if somebody doesn't buy Freedom Forever from us, somebody who they can get a great deal from and feel comfortable about, and we know for a fact that company has the best chance of being around here forever, unlike some of the other ones, as you did them an injustice. So go out there, put 100% of your people who have a home on notice. We have water you can offer them, right? We got a lot of different things, security that you can offer them. If they're in a neighborhood or something that's been hit by a storm, and it's a area that's got some hail or had a hurricane or a typhoon or something, tornado or whatever, and you're in that area, guess what? They qualify. They could qualify for a roof replacement. Okay. And so you want to make sure you go ahead and contact all your homeowners right away. Contact all your real estate industry professionals immediately. Okay. I have a woman I met on social media yesterday. I haven't met her yet, but I sent her a message. And the best message is basically saying, hey, look, let me show you how to turn your fan club and your fan base let me show you how to monetize it. Okay. And I'm married. I have no agenda except for us to partner and make money. If that's something that you're interested in, let me know. If not, again, we're just gonna move forward. And sometimes people reply, sometimes people don't. Okay, and so um, that's my thing. Full disclosure, 100% of the time, I just want to get money with you. I want to see if we can take your celebrity, your fan base as an influencer, and do something with it. Okay, so when you look at the real estate professionals, that person was a real estate professional, and actually now the person I just found out lives in Houston, which is a great thing. So now I'm waiting on the return message. Hey, we can have coffee, okay, have a business lunch, or we could do Zoom, whatever makes you comfortable. And so now, again, I'm trying to get, I'm working my way into access, because now it's about gaining access to the database of people who I don't have access to right now. It's about mergers and acquisitions, right? It's about her marrying her people when she sees what we offer, and possibly her skill set to my system, my leadership, my time, my calendar. Okay. And so that's my value. You have a database of people who you don't know how to monetize yet, or you're not getting 100% of the money out of right now. And I have a system that's in place. It's a plug and play and plug and profit system for realtors that all you have to do now is follow my system, right? And use the script that I have, and we can go out here and we can build a monument together, right? And so real estate. That person's in real estate. So now I'm friending more and more real estate agents on social media, right? And so the presentation, the collaborate presentation, I have one that's just about finished. It'll be probably finished today. Um, put some final touches on it for MLM real estate companies like LPT, EXP, and whatever else is out there. But those people, and I'm making a special one with that one because I want the subscription PDF on that, and I want the travel PDF on that as well. So that's the new one's going to have those two additions on it, and a couple other tweaks. But they already understand residual income. They already understand recruiting, and so that's why that presentation will be separate from the other one. Okay, so real estate, That's one of the focuses that I'm going with collaborate. Okay. So six checkers, categorize your list, guys. One, wealthy people. Okay. And you want wealthy people because wealthy people can afford everything. I mean, they literally have good credit. They have a ton of money. If the credit doesn't work or they don't see it as a good deal to go credit, they can go cash. Okay, because cash is king. But wealthy people also have a wealthy mentality. They have a positive mentality, and they know automatically whether they want to deal with you or not. They know automatically, if they want to do business with you or not. They know automatically, if they want to continue to have a conversation with you or not, and they don't have a problem telling you. And look, when they do tell you, they're not going to steal their dream if it's a no. They're not going to steal your dream. They're not going to tell you how bad the idea is. They're going to tell you how great the idea is. It's just not for me. But I do have some people and some friends who can use your services. I have some buddies who sell solar, and I have some buddies who need solar. I have some buddies who they're health fanatics. They can get this water and take this water. Wealthy people open doors. Your chicken list, basically. People who you think this company is too good for. So those are the people who somebody else from this company are going to go recruit. Okay, because it's 6 degrees of separation. Everybody on your list, they're not your people. Everybody on your phone, they're not your people. It's about you making a decision to help that person give you an educated yes or an educated no before somebody else does. So remember the guy when I told you we was doing coffee, and I told you the guy who had the the $1 million a year dream when I had $100,000 a year dream. That person was on my chicken list. See, it was a chicken list at that time. Now it's my gold, GOLD. Now it's my gold list. Okay, because I'm not a chicken. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. But it's when you get started, you don't know anything, right? You don't have those repetitions, in where you built up your prospecting muscle, right? It's a chicken list. It's hard to pick up that phone and make that phone call. Okay. You got way too much respect for that individual. Well, now when you become a leader, you become a builder, you get some repetitions in there. What happens is now you have way too much respect for them to pass them up. Like I would never ever pass a person up who makes 6, 7 figures already, you know, um, about an opportunity like this because it's at that point in time it's disrespectful. I'm like, let this person see it, make a decision because they may fall in love with it. Okay. But wealthy people. Number two, have money to start. $199. Okay. Yeah, when we first did the coffee, we didn't have $199. We had $400 in the bank and a pregnant wife, 6 months pregnant. That's what we had, right? We had just lost three companies: real estate company, foreclosure company, loss mitigation company, mortgage partnership. Just lost everything. But we had $400 and we had a vision, the goal, and they weren't giving us the money, and they basically say, look, find the other $1,000 that you need to get to 1,400. I don't care what you do to find it. And we got creative. We found it. Okay. My wife went and got a job at 6 months pregnant. We turned around and got a payday loan on her new job with her check and the $400. And we got basically that's how we got the $1,400 to get started in the bank. That's how we got it into the system. That's how we made it happen. And then the rest, as they say, is history. When you make sacrifice, guys, and you make your sacrifice count, that's when magic happens. That's when you actually have a story that you can tell. That story is timeless. It'll never, ever not be effective. Okay. And it'll always put a person in a position where when they figure out what I've been through, story wise, their excuses to most of them become irrelevant. Like that, I thought I was going through some things. Okay. And so, but at least he knows what I'm going through. So now he can help me through that, or she can help me through that. Okay. But have money to start. Find it. It's important for you to have it. It's important for you to be the system. There are consultants, guys, who literally don't have access to smart money, don't have access to travel and stuff like that. And it's like you missing out. Like you're allowing $50, to cost you potentially 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year. It's just $50 as a consultant, right? So money to start means getting started at the 149 if that's the worst that you can do, or that's where your belief level is at. But for me, I'm like build it. If they can get started $200 or more for me, they get a check. If they don't have the $200, they don't get a check. They're wealthy, they get a check. If they don't have wealth, they don't get a check. So You can see how this is going. You get a check for everything they on that person that they qualify for. Okay. They own a home, check. If they don't, no check. They have influence, check. They don't, no check. If they're just popular, no check. Because popular people, they're liked, they're loved, celebrated, right? And people don't move, when they say go, right? If you have influence, which is the root word of influencers, right? People move based on your recommendation, based on your activities, based on what they see you do. So if they have influence, again, which is again somebody who's making moves and people move with them, they get a check. If they're just popular or they don't have influence, they don't. They are a go-getter, somebody who's, every time you hear them, they're on the go, they're in a rush, they're from one project to another project, they get things done, right? Busy people. If you ever want something to get done, put it in the hands of a busy person, not a dormant person. You put it in the hands of somebody who's not busy, who's not a go-getter, they may forget they even got it, right? And it might fall through the cracks or it might come in late or whatever it is. You want go-getters, people who move mountains, because those people are the ones who dictate the pace of your group, right? When you have people who are go-getters, like, and I got people like Angel, I can always talk to activity. I can always talk to Angel's activity. Okay. I can always talk to Idris's activity. I can always talk to Tony Chitty's activity. I can always talk to, people like Freddie's activity, Gage's activity. I can talk to people who are highly active. Okay. If that's if that's something that I'm always going to edify the truth. I'm always going to edify, what's actually happening. I can edify you on one and do not and say nothing about you on the other side, because I'm not going to edify a lie. I'm not going to call you a leader. I'll say you have great activity, or I'll say you are great at recruiting, or I'll say you great at sales, but I might not call you a leader. Yeah. And so, but if they're go-getters, they can move the needle. They get a check. If not, they don't. They have no ego. And this is the one that you'll have people who are narcissists who don't believe that they have an ego. And so a lot of people have narcissistic traits. And when you figure out the definition of a narcissist, guys, you'll realize that you actually may be one, but you would never admit it. But you have people who have those traits, who still feel like they're smarter than the system or better than the system. They're better than their sponsor or smarter than their sponsor. They're better than the leader, the mentor, even the owners of the company, or they're smarter. Right? Those people, I'm just telling you, egos edging goals out. Okay. And so when you have an ego, at some point in time, you either have no business or your business will die based on the cancer that you cause in your group. Okay. Just because you have people coming into your business doesn't mean you have a growing group. That means that you have people coming into your business and enrolling. If they're plugging into the system based on you and your recommendations and you edifying the system with no ego, now they're now starting to duplicate that, and it's systematic. And guess what? If you take yourself out of the equation, it's still going to happen, right? So now your group is growing. Because remember, it's either growing or it's either growing or it's dying. One or two. There's no gray area. But you see a false indicator of checks and a false indicator of people growing in your group when it comes to numbers growing, that you think you have a healthy business. Yeah, you look in your back office though, and you look at the training calls and how many people you have on the training, how many people are not, and how many people you have that are recruiting people and how many not. How many, like, basically you see one line, one straight line in your group, right? And you don't see people who are been sponsored under those individuals. You just see a straight line of people who you personally recruited. Yeah, you're a great group recruiter, but those people have nothing locking them in to the system. Therefore, instead of having a lifeline, okay, with people being sponsored, you have a flat line, which your business is dying, which means that at some point in time, you're going to be in another company. You may still sell solar for us, but you're going to be in another company building, or you might sell water for us because that's one of your side gigs. Now you didn't turn this to a side gig because you got exposed or because your method of building doesn't work, right? Duplication wise. If you have an ego, if that person has an ego, no check. I'm sorry, if that person has no ego, they have a check. If they have an ego, no check. Okay. So this is a six checklist, guys. So I want to make sure, again, the ones that you have that have the influence, call them first. Okay, the ones that you like the six checker list, like people who have the six checks, call them first. Rather, that's who you call first. Then you call people who have the five checks. Then you call the people who have the four checks. Okay, and when you have 200 or 300 people on your list, this is the magic. Let me share with you what the magic is. And I hope you guys are getting this. This I'm giving you. This is one of the things that'll change your life if you just hear the words that are coming out of my mouth right now at this moment. If you have a list of 200 to 300 people, okay, and you categorize that list the way I just outlined, the six checkers, and you make the decision. Listen to what I'm saying, right? Listen to the words. If you make the decision and you're willing and you're going to, you make the decision to call every one of those names, okay, and share with them what you have your opportunities on, what you have opportunity based on their criteria, what you have in store for them. If you just decide, not if you're willing to, not if you just decide to, okay, call every one of them, you'll never have to. Because when you have 200 to 300 names, there's a magic that ensues where if you're plugging into the system and you're willing to you're going to call everybody, you decide to call everybody, you'll probably end up getting a chance to call maybe 150 of those people and I'm talking about over the span of years. Because when you call 100 to 150 people and you call them in a very, very short window of time, collapse time frame with excellent energy, and you're getting better with every call, and your energy brings the proper people in, what ends up happening is the six checkers that come on board, it's kind of like getting the pastor. They bring the masses. They bring the congregation. It's kind of like getting the doctor. They bring the orderlies, and then they bring the nurses and other doctors. It's like having a judge. They bring the attorneys. They bring the bailiff. They bring the police off. They bring it. When you get the head, the body will follow. So when you get the six checkers are the head. So when you get the six checkers, you get everything that comes with them. Everything that's if they are 200, $50,000 a month or 500,000, let's say $500,000 a month earners, a year earners. Okay, they get everybody that's beneath them. They get the masses, the people who you're going to focus on initially because you think it's easy and because you think that they need it. Those people are going to give you the biggest challenges, but they won't give the wealthy people and the people who have the six checkers, they won't give them challenges at all. They want to do business with them. So when you go get the best of the best, they will attract the rest. They will bring the rest. That's why you got to call them first and get them on a three-way on a lifeline. Okay. And so the better they are, the more they bring and the less work that you have to do. You just have to decide and say, I am going to call every name on this list. And you'll get to a point to where, again, you'll have so many people in your business that you don't have time to call the rest of the list. Like if you write a list of 100 things that you are willing to do, right, in order to be successful, okay? You won't have to do the whole entire list. You may get to number seven and you rank them in advance of importance and how impactful they are to your business. You won't, if you just say, I'm gonna do all 100 of these things, you may not get past seven. You do the first seven and it might be lights out for you. It's just a decision to do what's required, to do 100% of what's required and make 100% of the phone calls that's required. It's the decision that creates the wealth, that triggers the wealth, that increases your bar, increases your financial thermostat. Okay. Book four showcases. Showcases are what you use to expose the opportunity or to expose, your showcase of businesses and your business suites. All right, everything that we have to offer. So you're going to show people Kathy had a water showcase yesterday, a Rain H2O showcase, and she has the sequel today. Right, it's a showcase. It counts as two showcases. Right, guess what? Who's doing it? Mrs. Bean. So she booked them. Mrs. Bean did them. It's the system working for her, right? She's got the director of operations for Rain. She's got the head person, that's responsible for Rain in the company doing a presentation for her. Yeah, you have no idea. Human beings like rank and titles. Hey, if I'm Matt Acosta and I say, hey man, um, if I'm calling Matt and say, hey Matt, I'm going to put you online with my homeboy Chris. Chris is with his water company, and Chris making things happen. You know what I'm saying? He's selling these water machines left and right, and people just buying them. So Matt thinks I'm talking and I'm doing business with my homeboy. He thinks I'm doing some business with somebody who's on my level, somebody who basically is just a part of a company. Okay. But if I say, hey, Matt, real quick, man, I know you're busy. I know you're a health fanatic, and I go through my verbal brochure with Matt, leading him to make a decision on whether he's going to meet with me or not, about water and putting water in his gym or putting water in his barbershop or putting water in his home. I'm going to say, and by the way, um, I actually have a direct line to the person who works directly with the manufacturer of our product, our Rain H2O system. Mrs. Kim Bean, bro, she's the director of she's the director of operations for Rain H2O. Right, nothing happens with or without her, and she's going to be able to give you 100% of all the right answers. Okay, she's very down to earth, so don't feel intimidated about it. She handles success well. Very successful woman, but you wouldn't be able to know it by the conversations. Very, very, very down to earth person. So, but don't don't take this moment lightly. Okay, they made millions of dollars in business, and they have her in that position for a reason, and I can get you on the phone with her to make sure you make the right decision. Hey, so I'm edifying the person who's doing the presentation for me more than I am the system itself. Okay, because people get pitched up all the time, but I want Matt to know that I'm not talking to he's not going to be on the phone with my boy, like Bernie Mac said, my boy, right? He's going to be on the phone with the director of operations, the head honcho. If anything goes wrong, that she's the person who that communicated that information to, or that lied to, or that falsity to, or the truth to. I got the head person that I am working with that I can get you on the phone with. Okay. And so showcases, water. If you're doing water showcases, start at the top. Always start at the top. Mrs. Bean is that she's available. That's all she does. She's not going to get her water fountain conversation confused with the solar conversation or the security conversation. She's 100% water. Okay. So, and she's 100% company. So that's important. So book those showcases, guys. And when it comes to like even people who I have, and I know Angel has just brought on a brand new business partner yesterday. I see on the line, and we have a conversation. I'm sorry, or Laura rather, and we had a conversation last night while Laura's packing, and I'm like, I'm me personally, I like doing business with business people. I like doing business with people who see the vision, and people who can move mountains. When I talk about the six checkers, that list, this person ranks high on that list, and so when I see somebody that ranks high on that list, I want to insert myself in a manner that I can actually provide value and results. Okay. This is a person who's coming in based on our catalog, based on what she can offer to all of her real estate clients and builders and everything else. Not to build it per se, because she didn't have time for that. But I do. Like I have time today. Right. So money bag, yo, hey, I have time today. Right. And so I called Laura. I said, Laura, call her. Let her know. I'll do a lunch for her. We put a bunch of people on the call and we'll take it from there. She gets them on the call. I do the lunch presentation for us. Me and you will work and build her organization while she's selling, the things in our catalog. Laura makes a phone call. I get a text message back. She's intrigued. She's going to consider it. Perfect. That's all I want. Consideration. Okay. Because I want to show as the owner, one of the owners of the company, as a VP of sales of the company, if you bring value to the table and you're coachable, teachable, and trainable, and I can trust you to put me in a position where I can be effective for you when you communicate that to your individuals that you're going to invite, the rest, as they say, is history. At that point in time, she's talking to them about the opportunity to work with me, not the opportunity to work and build. And when she has that conversation with them, I'm going to now have them understand what build is and show them how they can build their future around what we do. It's no different than what Angel did with Sharon in South Africa. And me and Sharon's conversation was the same thing. You're about to be the queen of South Africa. Okay. And let them know that you're working with one of the owners, right? And one of the owners is going to do a private conversation for you on Monday, and they should be there. Right? And she got that notification down. And now let them know that they have access to me, so they won't try to circumvent you, because we know how people in that industry, they try to go around their sponsor to the senior partner. Well, if you're working directly with me and they can't get through you, the proper way, because I'm working, when we work together, That means that they may not need my time yet. They may not be emotionally sophisticated to work with me yet. Okay. So, but she's using them having the opportunity to communicate with me so they can get a feel for me. And they know that if they build it, I'll come to South Africa. So that's a part of her conversation. It's not about travel, you know what I'm saying? Travel is just it's like right, we get to do travel, but the bonus is working with him. The big thing is working with him. So book those showcases, guys. Let's see here. Kim, can you turn that fan on, please? The okay, so being a product of the product, guys, this is a very, very important thing right here. This is the thing that a lot of people look over. And being a product of the product, as we wrap up, we got this one and one more slide. The event thing is easy. But when you have the services, guys, when you are again a walking, living, breathing billboard of the services, what happens is you start to represent what you bought. You start to have that comfort knowing that you have solar, right, and a backup battery. Just telling you that's been a blessing to us because we already have backup battery testimonials, right? And I'm gonna just tell you when our solar panels kicked in and we had a level of comfort, I didn't know how good we actually had it with a backup battery. So our lights went off the other day, and the crazy part about it is the when not the lights went off, when the electricity in the neighborhood went down for a day, we heard this ticking in the morning. Like that morning, we heard this ticking, yeah, that morning, like 7 o'clock that morning, ticking, 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 and it was like a over time, like it'll beep, beep, and then over time it'll beep, beep. And that was the system letting us know that it was on a countdown. And we literally had maybe about 13 hours, okay, 13, 14 hours, if not more, that day of electricity. And so, and when it ran out, boom, it went out on us and it came right back up maybe 20 minutes later. Okay. And so I was excited about that because everybody else didn't have lights and electricity at that time, and we did. And so that was, but you can't share a story like that unless it's somebody else's story if you don't have solar. Okay. When it comes to the water, I can talk about the water. I can talk about the ripple. Thomas can talk about the water. Matter of fact, when you're in a market and you have the water system and you have events, right? You should take water in 5 gallon drums or 3.5 gallon drums, whatever you have, to those events and let people drink that water. And you're representing what you actually have. When I did the event in Atlanta, guess what? Thomas brought the water. Hey, I'm just telling you, we have water here in Houston. So when we do events in Houston, we bring the water. Right? So drinking the water is very, very important. Let people know how it helps you out and what you're seeing, what you're noticing, okay, and what your experience is. It's something that you can talk about. But travel, I did travel being a product of the product. I've been using the travel and I've been telling people about the travel, but this new one from Aventi, that one is going to be the one where I was just talking to Earl about the deals and how when he was talking about having a scrolling, display of vacations and getaways, because we have vacations and we have getaway packages, right? We have the hotels and we have getaway packages. And so all of them were deep discounted, packages and deep discounted, things. As a matter of fact, give you an example. Uh, Let me pull it up right. I just had it right here. So let's say the getaways, the packages, right? So we have a Venti, and then we have the second part. I'm not going to give you the name of it because I don't want you guys to have the name of that, the second part. But the second part is the getaways, right? Costa Rica, 5 nights, $454. Greece, 5 nights, $827. Thailand, 7 nights, $549. Turkey, 6 nights, $800. Mexico, 5 nights, $792. Dubai, 7 nights, $705. Right? And these are getaways that are already packaged at a deep discount that people are trying to sell so they can move inventory. Right? And so you have the hotel, but I'm showing them like, dude, these are the things that you're going to have scrolling across the things that people will be in your black cars watching while they're driving, and it's going to perk up their because people are curious and nosy. They want to know what's going on, and hey, what is this and where is this, and you get a chance to tell them, and look, $199, you'll be part of the travel club. You have people who have companies like this that charge anywhere from $10 to $20,000 for access to the same inventory that we actually have in their programs. Okay. But being a walking, living, breathing billboard, guys, test drive everything that we can test drive. Test drive the credit repair. If you don't have great credit, and that's the thing, I got Kim got a message from, was it Miss McDonald, Candy McDonald, and how she used the credit and how her credit score jumped up, how her debt is liquidated based on the system. She's a testimonial of the system. Right? She test drove the credit, and her credit is over $700, 700 points. I'm excited for her. All right. Let people know that you're using what you have, right? Let people know that you're test driving the system. Hey, upgrade your house as you see there. Level up, to the builder brokerage if you're a consultant or if you're an affiliate. Play at the highest level, guys. Because when we do go to 499, and and we will, this month, April coming up, based on the launching of Bill University and stuff like that, that's going to give us the ability to give high value and enough value to cover the 499. When that happens, you're grandfathered in to the system when it comes to the $500 pack. Okay? But don't wait and do it just because of that. Do it now based on the fact that it's just good business. If somebody's asking you what level are you at, and you say, "Well, I'm at the affiliate because I'm still trying to make a decision," they know you don't believe and they're not going to join you. The only way they'll join you is if somebody who believes bigger than you that they can be introduced to talks about what we have. As an affiliate, you should not be trying to talk to anybody about the business from a perspective of, I'm going to stick my toe in and see if it works. One, you're not working. And I hate when people say that, because if somebody's winning in a system, and you're sitting there talking about, I'm going to step my toe in there and see if it works, you've already said yourself that, you have zero intention on winning. You you never expected to win, because you can find $200 if you really needed it. But that means that you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you can do it. That means that you really and truly are just trying to find a easy way to say no and let the other person down. Whatever it means, that don't come in as an affiliate thinking that you're fooling somebody with that conversation, because you're not. You're exposing yourself, actually. Okay. What it means that you're not emotionally sophisticated enough to bet on yourself. That's what that means. Okay. And so make sure you get, because we think we're smarter than the people we're talking to a lot of times, and you got people who sit back and just process the information that they're receiving from you, that data that they're getting from you, that intel. In the military, it was called intel for us. That intel that we got a chance to collect and process, let us know what our next move was going to be strategically. And when it comes to you, you think because you're the upline, or you're the sponsor, or you're the person who's trying to get the people in the business, that your conversation is going to be strong enough to get a person in as an affiliate. You have a weak position. You have no position as an affiliate. Affiliates are for the brokers, people with the most ambition. A person who will be affiliate 1 day or 2 days until they go find the money, till they go make the money, till they go create the money. That's who the affiliate is for. The other person the affiliate is for a homeowner who bought a service of ours, and now they're going to start referring. That's who the affiliate is really for. Okay. And so it's not one of those things you can't, otherwise you're building a nonprofit organization. Okay. And you're disconnected. Like, you're a part of the family, but you're black sheep based on the information that you do not have access to. Okay. You have people you're the black sheep of the family. People intentionally keep you out of the mix. They intentionally don't invite you to stuff, right? When you are an affiliate, you intentionally block yourself from events. You intentionally block yourself from trainings. You intentionally block yourself from programs that we have access to, stuff that we sell, right? I have people who, as an affiliate, you can't see your downline. You can't see your genealogy. As an affiliate, you can't see how many people you have in your organization. The person who sponsored you, though, they can. I have to send screenshots to people of what they have access to and how many people who are beneath them. They have, people who are affiliates have 150 people, 130 people. They have enough money on one side to be at $5,000 a month right now. On one side, all they have to do is get active and build the other side. And they'd be at $5,000, $6,000 a month, right? But you can't see that, right? If you're unplugged. Being in a database doesn't mean you're plugged in. Being in a database doesn't mean you have access. It just means that you are you have an ID identification number and the ability to refer somebody for a bird dog fee. Level up. Okay. Let people know that when they talk to you about making a 7-figure decision, that they've seen you make a 3-figure decision, multiple 3-figure decision, $200 down, $99 a month. Let them see that you believe in what you are selling to them. And that way, they'll follow you. They'll give you a shot. Okay. Plug into our proven system. So I've been talking about system all day long. You've been hearing examples of the system all day long. You've been hearing testimonials of the system all day long, and it's not going to change here. Basically, you definitely want to plug into the major things you want to plug into, guys. One, millionaire mentorship call. These are some of the non-negotiables that you should make. When you're building out this campaign, right? When you're running this campaign, even if you're in sales, you still want to be a $1 million salesperson, right? You want to have a 7-figure mindset. Like if you have a person like Robert Kiyosaki who was making $70,000 a year as a pilot, and then he turned around and said, "Hey, look, if I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, I need to learn how to sell stuff." So he took a sales position at Xerox and took a pay cut, right, at Xerox because he wanted to learn their system of sales, right? And that's what happened for him. That's when things turned around for him. So now he could sell stuff and he can now teach people how to sell stuff. Now he can grow, he can explain, he can explore whatever he's going to sell, and he made millions of dollars based on what you guys would deem a sacrifice. That wasn't a sacrifice, that was a decision. Oh, I'm losing 30 grand a year. No, you're gaining millions of dollars a month. That's how you should look at it. That's how he looked at it. Okay. So plugging into the system will get you to that part if you have a millionaire mindset. If you're on a millionaire mentorship calls, that's what gets you to that point. Access to $1 million ideas and conversations and thought processes, right? So the other thing that you should have as a non-negotiable is our Saturday morning trainings. This is exclusive to you. This is now where we have an intimate environment where you get a chance to communicate from time to time, but you get a chance to learn all the stuff that you need to learn, right? This is this is the incubation tank. And I would say the incubation and development tank for, our group. This is where we keep you in, and we continue to drip on you and drip on you and drip on you and encourage you, celebrate you and celebrate you and recognize you, highlight you, and at some point in time, even get you to start training and presenting for us. But it starts here on Saturday morning. Those are only two non-negotiables that if I'm you, I would actually have. Everything else would go by my clock, go by my, from the solar call on Mondays, to the door knocking calls, to anything and everything. Those are my non-negotiables. Those two trainings. Okay, but they have solar Mondays, door knocking, sales trainings. They have all kinds of trainings in the system. And like I said, it's like a radio. You turn it on when you want to hear it. You turn it off when you don't. Okay. If you don't like what's on that channel or that channel doesn't serve you, don't turn to it. So I'm not, you know what? I've been on a door knocking training for maybe 5 minutes just to see how many of my door knocking team members were on. I wasn't on to learn anything, right? Because that's not what I do. That's not the channel that I turn to when I watch my personal development or my training or listen to my personal development or my training radio. Okay. So when it comes to solar, they have their solar trainings and they have their security trainings. I don't go to those trainings because that's not what I do. Right? That's not my station. I plug into what serves me and my team. Okay. 8-point system. Track your daily activity. Give your activities as a workover. Right. Make sure that you are building up those points. 8-point system from 8 points to 16 points, 16 points to 24 points a day. And when you get those points up, and those points are coming mostly from income producing activities, IPA, income producing activities, what ends up happening is you now start to get the traction, the momentum, the growth, you get the sales. And I was with Warren last night and we went over my numbers, and it's crazy how many solar sales I actually have in my group. Everything that I talked to him about, or things that I talked to you guys about, and it's starting to come into fruition. I'm starting to see deals come from nowhere, and people who had deals that I had no idea. And so when I get my commission checks and they send me through Relay, and I'm like, wow, another deal went on. Wow, another deal went on. I wasn't on scene. Okay. We have mentors who are on the scene, for that. I wasn't on the scene. So, but I love the fact that the system is working, you know, basically in my absence when it comes to, the solar things going, the water cells going. I don't do water presentations. I've never done one. Miss Bean has. Guess what? I still see my relay overrides, right? I'm just saying. Yeah, she got a position. Yeah, she got, man, Miss Bean got a position. Yeah, she building, right? She growing, she grinding. Thanks, Miss Bean. I appreciate the overrides. Taking care of the household, baby. That's what I'm talking about. You're a provider. That's not, my baby's a provider. So that system though, right? That 8 points on hers, you will see how many, systems presentation she did yesterday. How many phone calls she did yesterday. She would all the income producing activity, all of the personal development, anything, everything, all the things that you get points for on that. Watch the 8 point system training. Okay. And you know where the points come from, but you want really good, solid substance in your points. You want, the income producing activities and everything else be gravy. You want the three ways, the lifelines, the presentations, the prospecting. You want those points primary points. Those points have the highest value because they lead to enrollments. They lead to sales. They lead to, those things. Then you have the personal development and you have the follow. You have all those other things, the personal development on the back end and stuff like that you get points for. That's extra. Some people, use that as fluff for their 8 point system numbers, right? So again, when we look at the points, you can have 100 points in a day. You can have 50 points in a day, 70 points in a day, 35 points in a day. And if it's because you watch 16 hours of personal development videos, those are hollow points. Okay. This is not you just trying to impress somebody with your points. It's the quality of the points. Okay. What are you getting the points on? Are you running from the income producing activities? Because we can see again, the points tell us, it tells us a story as a leader. Okay. Lead generation. So master the scripts, role playing sessions, lead generation systems, guys. Angel does a great, role playing session every other Monday night. Okay. And again, Dale talks about how much he's learned and how much he's now going back into his group and doing role plays with his group based on the role playing sessions. Right. Hey, then you have Idris Alaka doing role playing sessions. When it comes to him being a mentor, right? Him having a call uh, every other week on Monday nights. So when Angel is on, Idris is off. When Idris is on, Angel is off. So every week we have them going back to back to back to back with role playing and trainings. Okay, so you should always do role playing sessions with your brand new people, guys. I'm telling when you do that, you teach people, at least teach them how to invite, and you can listen to them invite, and you can help them correct the things that they have, the flaws that they have. You do that through role playing, and then you do that through live fire, and then they get better, and then they learn that because you did it, and guess what? They're gonna do it for their team. Worst thing can happen is you have a person come in, they make phone calls and they blow up without you having a role play, without you coaching them on the script, and they just did it based on influence. They're not going to ever train anybody in their group to do it because they wouldn't train. And they're going to get frustrated because all the people who they invited are not inviting anybody, not recruiting anybody, because they don't know how to get people to the calls. They don't know how to get people on the call in the right mindset, right? And so their frustration based on their group not having the influence that they had is going to lead them to quit one day. Okay? And so what you see that is becoming a challenge in high volume down in your group normally is something that you didn't address or something that you didn't do or something that you left out when that person got started. Okay? But lead generation, you see, Landon had, he started lead generation system here for the group, and you have several people who are using it. Dale's using it, and again, he's using it and getting results. Dr. Arlene George and Sarah and Daniel, they're using it and maximizing the system. Guys, it's working for the people who go through the process. Okay, don't quit on the process. If you need leads and you have the funds, do it. And you really are committed to the process of learning what to say, learning how to follow up, learning how to take those calls. Guys, again, do it. If you're not, do it the organic way. Okay. Go through that process. And you may find out that you're learning some things that you can now go and do the lead generation with, and it'll put you in a position where you're more effective in converting those leads. Leadership development, the Millionaire Mentorship Call, talked about it earlier, but leadership boot camps and assigned mentors. The leadership boot camps, guys, those are very, very important. And when we have the convention, we're going to probably have a leadership day, a training. It's not, it's going to be a mini camp, a micro camp, 1 day crash camp, and there's going to be a rank requirement for that event, and don't know what it is just yet. But since it's just 1 day, it's going to be something. It's going to be high powered, but it's going to be something that is going to really help you build a foundation around. So by the time we get to the next event, and we actually have a 2 day event for leadership boot camp, then it'll be a full-fledged boot camp, but you won't be there by yourself. You'll be there with other leaders, and you'll be there at higher ranks. Okay. And so that's going to be something that we're going to continue to build and develop. As soon as we find out the company's date, in which we're thinking August, September, I'm thinking August, honestly. I'm thinking it's closer to August than anything else. When we get to that date, okay, we will have our day. And then again, we're going to parlay that to the next leadership event, and that's going to be a 2 day event, and it's probably going to be separate at the company because we want to make sure that you guys get exactly what you need, and we want to make sure you're running the system and running the play, that we're calling. Yeah, and so we want to make sure we put you guys on a track to success, and we fine tune this thing, and we get this thing humming. Okay, and so assign mentors. Make sure you qualify for somebody's time. Make sure you put yourself in a position that you're coming in the company. You have a certain goal that you want to hit. Make sure you actually follow that roadmap and the blueprint that your leader gives you. And they're going to start with the playbook. And so with the playbook, you follow that playbook, complete that playbook, and really start filling those books out and filling them up. The rest, as they say, is history. And your mentors will stay your mentors, or you'll graduate to the next mentor because there's levels to it. And you start hitting the same ranks as your leaders. What ended up happening is that person, the closer you get to that person's rank, and then when you get to the same rank, you actually lose the ability to be effective in their groups most of the time because of the ego, for the human ego. The human ego says that if I can see you one position for me or two positions for me, right? You're really not my leader. You're just a coach that's giving me some instructions. And that's what the human ego tells you to think, right? And most on average. So the closer a person gets to you, the less respect they have for you and what you bring to the table. They At that point in time, they think they're bridging a gap, or they think that they caught up, or they thought they passed you up. And that's why it's easy. That's why you should always be rank advancing when somebody else rank advances. You never suppress your people's leadership, and you never suppress your people's growth. Okay, all you do is put yourself in a position where you run with them to help them get to their goals, but you run even faster to make sure that you stay ahead of the power curve. Make sure you stay ahead of the process. If they're rank advancing, you should be rank advancing. At the times that we actually made out the most money in the industry like this, we had people breaking ranks like 2, 3 people, or 4 or 5 people, or 7, 8 people. The bigger the rank got, the more people we had breaking ranks that month. But in the beginning, when we hit our very first big rank, we had 2 people hit a big rank. Okay? And the second rank, we had 3 people hit the big ranks. Fourth rank, we had 5 or 6 people hit the big ranks. The seventh one, when we hit diamond, at that point in time, diamond, we had maybe 13 to 15 people hit a decent rank to a big rank. Okay? But again, you're building your successes on the back of the successes that you create through other organizations and other access points. Okay? And so that should be your focus, building up people, but you have to be rebuilt. You have to be enhanced. You have to be renovated. You have to be built up yourself. So you need to, one, qualify for mentorship, qualify to keep mentorship, and qualify to get access to the next level of leadership, mentorship, the person who's above the person who you're working with right now. If Angels build a 2000, and all of a sudden, um, let's say Sharon, in Johannesburg, South Africa, becomes builder 4000, it's harder for Angel at this point in time to work with Sharon. She can compliment, she can encourage, she can support, But if Sharon is built different and she has an ego, she's not going to respect anything Angel says. It could be the other way around, but normally it's not. Yeah, that's the thing I love about our people. We have great people. But at that point in time, it's a handoff. Angel hands Sharon off to me. And now, me being the higher rank, me being a person who has the ultimate experience and I'm sorry, the ultimate respect in our organization, now Sharon works with me and she will now follow 100% of everything that I say going forward, as opposed to her picking and choosing what Angel would instruct her to do. Right? Because some of y'all are picking and choosing right now what your social, what the system is telling you to do, and you're picking and choosing right now what your leaders are suggesting that you do. Now, if you have leaders that are suggesting that you do the wrong things, and it's things that are not systematic, then this is what you do. You contact the person above them, right, and say, hey, look, this is something that I'm not seeing in the system. Am I supposed to be doing this? Because you have the right to do that based on the fact that you're an independent business owner. You're not an employee. Okay. So if somebody's teaching something totally out of the system, confirm it. Guys, don't just sit there and say, you know what, well, I'm not gonna follow this person based on the fact that I just don't believe in them or whatever. Go get confirmation. Because what ends up happening is that individual can say, okay, don't worry about it, let me fix this. Okay. Or you can work directly with me, right? One of the two. And so, but you want to make sure you force somebody to work with you. You force somebody who want to mentor you. You force somebody who want to now build a whole entire access point and an appreciation access point around. Okay, that's your job. And the last thing you want to do, guys, as it says here, is get registered for the next event. Now, so that's important as well. So again, when you look at where we're at, guys, this is a conversation I wanted to have with y'all, and we'll have this conversation every month because we have so many people coming in. I know for a fact that if I do it, it got done. I can't say the same if I leave it up to you. I don't know if you're going to make sure everybody goes through, the 6 steps to 6 figures, but I know I am. Okay, and so every month we're going to have one of these training calls to where everybody can have exposure to it, so they won't be able to have the excuse. Okay, this is going to be done, so you can say, hey, plug in, and when people coming in, plug them into this. If they're on Facebook, plug them into the repeat, the 24-hour on-demand system. Plug them into the Facebook group, right? If you have it on YouTube, okay, send them the YouTube link, okay? But make sure that they're getting it. Make sure that they're following it and audit, what they're doing. Audit not just the behavior, but audit their actions and activities. Hey, have you done X, Y, and Z? Hey, where are we at on this? Hey, what are we looking like on that? Okay, and so that's what I want to leave you guys with, when it comes to the system. Be a ambassador of the system, be an ambassador of the vision, and be an ambassador for your people. Make sure your people are plugged in. Hold on one second, guys. Yeah. So finishing how I began, build a 10,000. That's the vision, guys. When you look at what we need to do, to hit this number, Project 10,000, we have to be better. We need better leadership to attract better people. Okay, we need big results. We need big testimonials and income testimonials. We need people to see that they can make money in any way, shape, form, or fashion that they choose to build with us. Okay, and there's no play on words. This is very, very important. If you don't have this, if we don't establish this as a culture of people coming in and wanting to get this Project 10,000 knocked out, what happens is now, again, your people, when they start to hear the vision and they don't hear you promote it, they know you're disconnected. They know that you don't believe. They know that there's something that you're struggling with, and that's not a good look. Okay, so make sure that you pitch this and sell this and live this with everybody that you're actually working with. Okay, so let me see here. And so I know Mr. Bean has a call with Kathy that's open to the masses of you. And so if you have people who you want to have them jump on about the water and just get them on, the presentation is in the group. The banner is actually in the group, and I'm excited, guys. We have a lot of amazing um, things that are ahead of us. A lot of a big team that we're going to be building. A lot of products that we're going to be selling, and this subscription based model is a godsend. So let's go out here and let our hair down. Let's go to work. Let's build it. Let's have fun, because we have places to go, people to talk to, and vacations to take together. So love you guys. See you guys next week, same time, same mind, and make sure you follow up and audit your back office accounts to make sure all your credit cards ran. So talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.